Thanks for joining me today for another episode of the Seatown Podcast. So we're celebrating the 20th episode of the Seatown Podcast. 20 may not sound like a lot, but that means we've done this for at least 20 weeks. I just want to thank everyone who listens for giving me your most precious commodity, your time. There's so many other things you could be doing with it or other podcasts you could be listening to. Just wanted to acknowledge and thank you for tuning in to this podcast. I hope that you find it interesting and valuable and that you could share it with your other friends on iTunes or whatever platform you listen to your podcast on. Go on there and rate it and leave me a review. That would really help boost the organic reach of it. I just want to acknowledge that and thank you for your time in listening. I hope that I've been getting better at this and making it more interesting and engaging for you. Today's guest is Brianna Shaver. Brianna has recently started her own business called Toste, making French toast sandwiches. What she is doing is the quintessential story of a startup entrepreneur. She has an idea and then she decided to pull the trigger on it and is now making it happen. I hope you enjoy hearing from her today during our conversation. Enjoy your weekend and enjoy this 20th episode of the Seatown Podcast. Well, good morning, Brianna. Thanks for joining me today. So, Brianna, you own a kind of startup company called Toste, right?
Yes.
Would you mind just tell me a little bit about that and what you do there?
Well, Toste is a French toast sandwich business. We just started this year, and we're at one farmer's market so far. Mm-hmm. So it's all savory or sweet French toast sandwiches. We have 6 items on the menu right now.
We'll get a little bit more into the business stuff. Would you mind just taking a few minutes and tell me a little bit about your backstory? Where did you grow up? What do you enjoy doing in your spare time? What did you do before owning this business?
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm from California originally, and I went to culinary school here in Seattle, and that's what brought me to Seattle. Okay. I left and then came back, but...
Which culinary school?
South Seattle College, the pastry program.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Mm-hmm. And I've worked in bakeries and restaurants pretty much ever since I started working when I was 16, and always wanted to do my own thing eventually, so I thought now was the time.
Awesome. What do you like to do in your spare time, if you have any? I'd imagine owning your own business.
Yeah, it's pretty, not so much now, but I love the outdoors, hiking and camping. I love fitness, CrossFit. I also like to volunteer a lot with the youth, and just good old binge watching Netflix.
Sure.
When I can.
Sure. With the volunteering for the youth, is there a specific program or kind of group that you like to volunteer with? Or?
Well, right now I'm working with U Power, so it's high school students, usually in areas that they don't have a lot of access to good fitness programs at school or can't really afford it. Mm-hmm. So we go and do free fitness programs with them, and like high school students right now mostly.
Cool. How did you get involved with that?
I actually saw someone post about it saying they needed volunteers. I was like, that sounds interesting, and I clicked on it and it looked fun, so I started doing it. Awesome. Yeah.
That's great. So you briefly told me a little bit about what you do with your new startup business with the French toast sandwiches. How old is that? What was your biggest challenges when you first started that business?
Well, since I just started this year, there's still a lot of little things that come across, but I'd say the biggest challenge really was just myself, getting the courage to do it, because it is scary trying to go into business for yourself. Right. But there hasn't really been anything huge that's happened so far. Yeah. Just little things like running out of everything on the second day. Yeah. Way too early. But I guess that's good.
Yeah, it's a learning process, right?
Yeah.
How did you get the idea then, what was the big catalyst for kind of starting that? A lot of people have ideas, but they never, drum up enough courage to actually pull the trigger on it.
I think I just hated my job enough to decide I couldn't work for someone forever. Okay. And I figured, well, now's the time. I'm married, but we don't have kids, and we have a lot of time. Well, we had a lot of time on our hands. Yeah. And, it just seemed like a good time to jump into it.
Sure. That's awesome. What's the greatest challenge that you're facing right now in your business as you grow?
Right now, I would say it would just be like, where am I going from here? Because I'm in the farmer's market right now, but the market I'm at, the season ends at the end of September.
Okay. And which farmer's market is that?
Finney Ridge.
Okay.
And I'm waitlisted on a couple of year-round markets, but those waitlists can be as long as 3 years to get in. So I can wait till next season, do more markets, or try to maybe do some kind of a more mobile venture.
Okay.
Maybe a food cart.
Okay. Is there confirmation on other markets that you'll be able to get into next year, or is everything waitlisted?
Well, everything you just apply every year. So if you're in one year, it's not guaranteed you'll be in the next. You just have to keep applying, and so you just never know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you love most about your business?
That is mine.
Yeah.
I love that if I want to do something, I can do something, and it's just great having something that you're so passionate about and that you love, and seeing it be successful.
Yeah.
I think that's the best part.
What do you think sets your company or your product apart from others? I'd say doing similar thing, but I've never heard of a French toast sandwich. So
Yeah, I'd say it's just unique. I mean, there's all the waffles with all the crazy toppings around. Those kind of exploded the last few years, and then there's a lot of the specialty little shops with sweet foods, but I think French toast is a pretty untapped market, and especially savory French toast.
Yeah. So
I say it's just unique.
Sure. I'm not sure I had savory French toast before.
It's delicious.
I'll have to try
You
that.
should try it.
Yeah. So you mentioned you're originally from California. You live here in Seattle with your husband now. What would you say makes Seattle such a great place to own a small business?
I think that Seattle is really encouraging of small businesses. I think that there's a lot of help here, and a lot of free resources in Seattle. It's kind of encouraged to go out and start your own business here versus other cities. It could be more of a challenge.
Right.
And especially in the food service, because it's such a foodie city that it's perfect for it.
Yeah. What do you say the first 90 minutes of each day looks like for you?
It really depends on what day it is. I mean, I work out at 6:30 in the morning most days, so that's kind of how I start my day, and that usually starts it off on a good note.
Sure.
Helps me to get up early and be productive for the rest of the day.
Right.
Towards the beginning of the week, it would be going through my inventory, looking at what I need to go buy, making lists, and then running to a bunch of different little places around Seattle, cash and carry, and all the local markets that I get my produce and my meats at. On a day where I'm prepping, it would be a lot of loading and driving and unloading, because I have to do a commercial kitchen space where I make everything.
Okay.
And then on the market day, it would be a lot of, do we have everything? Where's everything? What do we have?
Yeah.
Freaking out a little bit. And then loading and driving and setting up.
What would you say is your greatest strength?
My greatest strength? I guess just wanting something and going for it. I know a lot of people, they have a great idea or they're passionate about something and they just kind of sit on it for a long time.
Sure.
And I think when I get the idea in my head, I jump on it. And
Yeah,
I mean, I guess that could be a weakness too in some way, but it's worked out so far.
That's awesome. Yeah, when you're starting your own business, I mean, that's kind of what they say you've got to do. You know, so many people are just going to wait till they get all their ducks, and they put all their ducks in a row, and 10 years later, you know, like they might try something, but
Yeah.
yeah, that usually doesn't work for the entrepreneurial, spirited ones.
Yeah.
What is one habit that you wish you had?
I don't know. I mean, I wish that I was maybe more focused in certain aspects. I do get distracted easily
Yeah.
with technology.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's a common problem this day and age.
Yeah.
What would you say you're passionate about? What makes you tick?
Food. I love food.
Yeah.
I love eating food. I love making food. I love feeding people. Yeah, I'd say food. And then other than that, I'd say people. I just love people.
Okay. Have you always been interested in food? I mean, how did that love get cultivated?
I've always loved food growing up, but I'd say when I was in high school, I just kind of started experimenting more with baking, and it was just really fun, and it was just kind of a fun thing I would do on the side. But I worked in restaurants for my first job, and I could kind of start to see like all the potential there is there with owning your own business, and potential to make good money doing something you actually enjoy.
Right.
So I think that's what started it.
Okay. So right now your focus with the business is in farmers markets. Do you have ambitions to get like a brick and mortar place at some point? Or?
Yeah, eventually. Yeah, I want to start. I mean, the goal was to start really small, kind of test it out, see if anyone even likes French toast sandwiches, and go from there. So.
Okay. How's the response been so far?
It's been good.
Yeah,
it's been really good.
What kind of feedback are you getting from people?
Well, at first, usually people are like, French toast sandwiches, what is that?
Yeah.
Like, well, it's French toast in a sandwich form. But then they try it, and then, every day they'll order a sandwich, and then they come back a few minutes later, and they're like, oh my gosh, it was so good. And we get repeat customers every week coming back for more, and it's just great.
So going to kind of the next section of the interview, I was thinking maybe you could tell us this story about maybe your worst entrepreneurial moments, when things didn't quite go as planned.
Well, I mean, there hasn't been anything too horrible happening yet, but there's definitely, yesterday, about an hour into the market, I ran out of propane because I was pretty sure I had a full day left in that tank.
Yeah.
I did not.
Yeah.
Luckily, the booth next to me had extra propane, so I could use theirs.
Nice.
But there was a second where I was like, oh my God, what have I done? And there were sandwiches on the grill, and there's no flame heating them up, and
Sure.
It was scary. But little things like that.
Sure.
Nothing too bad, though.
Okay. In the past, what would you say was holding you back from becoming the entrepreneur that you are right now?
Oh, probably money and just fear of failure.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to put everything into something and have it flop.
Right.
But
Yeah.
if you don't try, then...
What is the best advice that you have ever received?
Well, it wasn't actually given directly to me. It was given to my husband, and then he told me about it, and I was like, that's amazing. And it was, follow your passion, and the money will follow you. So I've just tried to stick to that because it's so easy to think, okay, I'm going to go get this really good job and, have a nice 401k and, everything that you're told to do growing up.
Sure.
You do it. But if you're not passionate about something, then what's the point,
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you might have all this money, but you're spending the majority of your day doing something you don't like that much.
Yeah.
That's not fun.
So I mean, in your current endeavor, you found that to be true of you. You've seen where like that hasn't worked out so well for people, or
I've definitely seen. I've seen people implement things in not such a great way, and it doesn't work out maybe as well as it could. For me, I was actually really surprised the first day that we had the market. I was watching all the sales and how much money we actually made after everything, and I was like, wow, we made money today. I thought for sure on the first day we would maybe break even.
Sure.
But we've been making a profit every week.
Well, that's great.
Yeah, really great. So
You must be doing something right. A lot of businesses take years to get out of the red.
yeah.
Is it just you right now, or do you have employees? Or
I don't have any employees. My husband helps me at the market, so there's two of us in the booth.
okay.
But other than that, it's just me I make everything from scratch, so I do all the prep myself and
Okay.
all the shopping. And
If you could recommend just one book to our listeners, what would it be?
one book. Well, I don't really like to read a lot of nonfiction, so
Okay.
I would say just pick a book that is fun for you. I think really great to kind of have that escape every once in a while with something that's not on a computer screen. Right now I'm reading the Outlander series.
Okay.
It's on Showtime, I think, too, but...
So as we're wrapping up here, set a few kind of closing questions. Can you share with our audience one piece of parting guidance?
I would say just, if you have an idea, I would say just go for it. Don't sit around and wait for everything to get in line before you do it. I'd say just go for it.
Yeah.
And the worst thing that happens is it doesn't work. Well, that sucks, but at least you tried, and
Sure.
you're not going to live your life thinking, what if I would have done that? I wonder how it would have turned out.
Sure. So if people are interested in finding out more about you and what you're doing with your Toast business, what's the best way to connect with you?
Well, you can go to our website, which is toastsandwiches.com. There's contact info on there. Or you can just email. Right now, the email is toastsandwiches@gmail.com. Those are probably the best two. On our website, there's also links to Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. You can see all the fun pictures.
Okay, great. Well, thanks, Brianna, for being on here, giving me a little bit of your Saturday morning.
Yeah, thank you.
That's it for this week's episode of the C-Town Podcast. Thanks again for tuning in. If you have any questions or want to get a hold of me, you can do that on my website, www.c-town.com, sea-town.com. Until next week.